for yeah every missing child that is missing, and for their family.
I think it's a wonderful idea.
I'll just give you a tiny bit my way.
You mentioned something that you're Christian.
Yes.
And how long? I mean, have you always been Christian? Have you been brought up Christian?
No. In 2005, I got saved. So since then.
And the reason that it struck me because and this is kind of not a great way to get into this, but we were talking a little bit about these emails that I think your estranged wife has sent to a news network.
Correct.
And she says she doesn't say a lot in those emails, but what it seems to be kind of clear is her resentment for you. And one of the things that she said, I think she called you a sadistic Pakistani Muslim, and which sort of struck us as odd because you're not Muslim. Is that correct?
Correct.
She probably knows you're not Muslim.
Correct.
Do you know why she would say something like that?
She still is just lashing out in anger, and once you do lots of, you don't really think when you're angry, and she's still been lashing out in anger. So,
what did you think of the emails that she sent, if she did send them?
I was really surprised, especially about that comment about the Pakistani Muslim. I am from Pakistan, and I mean we both went to church together. So for her to relay that, I mean we're moving from what is the main reason why we're on TV, is to promote Sky's awareness, and for her to take a cheap shot at me that's so irrelevant.
I found it so interesting that she would spend her time in the email taking aim at you instead of spending more time talking about the fact that her son is missing. Did you find that interesting at all?
Yeah. As I said, I think she's just angry, and yeah, it's like I am trying to use all my energy, and there's not too much, I might have to say, but I'm just trying to focus on the prize, and the prize is getting Sky back home, and trying to do anything that I can to bring more, because it only takes one person. So, oh yeah, I did see that person, and that's all it takes. And that's what I'm hoping for, that person to come forward.
How do you feel the case is progressing?
I really believe the Bellevue Police Department and the FBI are, from what they have in their hands, they are doing a wonderful job. Yes, I 100% believe they're doing a wonderful job. And
so, when we're sitting in the press room, I know you're never there, but, for, 10, 11 days straight, we were all sitting there, and we had a hard time understanding, why they weren't harder on Julia. Why not? Why not force her to answer some questions? Do you ever feel that way, or do you just have to,
Well, we all have our own jobs that we do. Like, this is your job. You're asking me these questions, and I'm sure you went to school for this, and you've been doing this for a long time. Same as the police officers and FBI, they have gone to school. Their passion is to go and do what they're doing today. I mean, I have a passion for all my customers that come to my store. I love to greet them. I love to help them. I like to get to know. It's my passion. I really believe they're very passionate of bringing Sky back.
Good. We see all these pictures of Sky and Miley, and they're just beautiful, beautiful children. I mean, really, I know everyone says that about everybody's kids and that sort of thing, but they really are beautiful kids. And I'm curious as to, I know you've said repeatedly the last time you saw Sky, well, now we're in November, but 10 months ago, about 10 months ago. Do you remember what your last, would you be willing to share that with us, your last memory of seeing him?
Yeah, of course. Well, it was Miley and Sky. They were in the back seat. I'm pretty sure that this was I think this was the second last time. Is that okay?
Sure.
Yeah. I think I already shared this, but it was such a cool moment. So Miley and Sky are in the back, and I'm driving, and Miley starts to scream, just and Sky does the same thing. Then Miley does a little louder, Sky does a little louder. Then one more time. This was after the third time. They both just laugh and laugh and laugh. It was just so funny. It was so cool to see brother and sister working together for laughing wise. And they did this on their own. I didn't go. I was just looking, not looking, but I was driving, hearing. That's probably the proper word to say.
Those are moments that, I mean, parents just, you love them because, you figure they're going to grow up, they're going to be fighting in a few years or something like that. I'm curious as to, for you being a dad, and I know you went for a long period of time without seeing your kids, what was it like to live without those moments for you?
I've said this before to my friends many times. I had to, what I believe is like, I believe God can do anything. He is the most powerful thing there is, and if there's something not happening in a situation, if you're praying about something, if it's not happening, there's something in the middle God wants to do with you, with what's around you. I don't know what. And when I saw all the doors was closing on me, and I go, okay, I'm just gonna trust you because you are my God. And I'm going to trust you 100%, not 99.9, because I will not find peace in that. So I just had to trust in whatever he was doing, it was correct. And it was hard. There's not been a moment that I did not stop thinking about them. But when I thought about them, I took that into prayer. I started to pray for them. I started to believe for them. I started to believe for their future. I started to just take my thoughts and made it into prayer.
Does Miley know that Sky is missing?
I don't know.
You don't know. When you see her, you don't talk to her
No,
about it?
no.
Okay. I imagine for two kids who are used to being around each other all the time, and then to all of a sudden have that taken away, it would probably be pretty tough for her.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get too much into Miley because we want to afford her the privacy that she deserves. But my understanding of this, and correct me if I'm wrong, you didn't get to see your kids for that long because of a custody dispute. Is that correct?
Custody dispute, and the way that Julia attacked me, it was just one arrow after another, and as soon as I took the arrow out, there was another whole ranges coming at me, and with the court timings and of the rescheduling, it just got one after another.
And I assume that you're talking about her claims that you had either hit the kids or whatever.
Yeah, all those.
This whole time, have you just been sort of fighting to clear your name as far as...
Yeah.
So you go, and I'm just trying to understand this, because you go 10 months without seeing your kids, and then all of a sudden, one of them disappears. And, can you... it must have been just a nightmare for you, but I'm wondering, as a dad who hasn't seen their kids for so long, and to hear something like this happen, what was that like for you that Sunday? I assume it was Sunday when you found out.
It was Sunday at 10:30 when the police came, the Kirkland police, and it was beyond shock because nothing you can understand. Nothing in life will prepare you saying your baby boy is missing. There's nothing can ever prepare you, or how you're gonna feel, or even later. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It's not in your, when you want to have a child, when you clean their diapers, or when you go shopping for them, or when you feed them. One day you might have to think that your son is gonna go missing. Just you can't describe it. I was so shocked, um, and the police officer had to kind of he kind of said, you know what, I need to ask you a couple of questions, because I was about to cry. But I know that they have he kind of guided me to before I started to cry, and then he told me where was I, and all those things, and stuff like that, the regular report things.
Sure. So I know you're probably aware of this, but because Sky's been missing, there have been, a lot of reporters have gone through court records, and I've talked to Clay a little bit about this too, and I've read just how serious you thought Julia's condition was, how she was not well. I mean, the picture that you paint to the court, she really needed some help. My question to you is, the morning that she disappeared, or that Sky disappeared, and the police arrives at your door, what did you think? What did you think had happened to your son, given all of that background?
The first thought was, it's always a terrible thought, that something happened to Sky. And you don't really understand what is going on. You're not able to process the words that you're actually hearing. And the first thing I did was I called my brother. Does that answer your question?
I guess my question is, did you immediately think that Julia did something to your son?
The first thing came to my mind was, what do you mean my son is missing? That was the first thought. And it's not like I put the blame on somebody. My thought was okay, Sky is missing. What do you mean?
I guess I'm not asking you as far as blame, but given your, and maybe we can go into that a little bit, given what you know about Julia, I mean, we know about the OCD, we know that she was bipolar, we know that she was depressed, we know that she had gone, she had dreams about hurting him. So given all of those things, is it hard for you not to think that?
I choose not to think that, because I need to still be here. If I let my thoughts run wild, and it's granted from what I've said before, it's very true, but I don't go there, because I need to. I'm always a person who says, the cup is. My thing is, the cup is always overflowing. But yeah, the cup is never half empty.
Okay, all right, that's fair. Let me take you back a little bit before this. I think a lot of the people who have met you, and they've heard about Julia, no one's really met her because she has not made any kind of public appearance in Sky's disappearance. But I guess I'm wondering, and then maybe if you don't mind sharing, how did the two of you meet? How did the two of you, I mean, you obviously had fallen in love and gotten married and had two great kids together. So I guess I'm wondering, how did the two of you meet?
It's a very funny situation. I saw Julia at a gas station. And there's a place I go wash my car every week, and you know, I was friendly with the attendant that would wash the car, and would say hi, hello, you know, and actually he was talking to Julia, and as you know, Julia's very pretty, and and so I just gave her one of my cards, you know, as a single guy should do, so you see the beautiful woman. Um, so and she called me, and and then just and she was very nice, very sweet. She was very kind to me.